Dabinid. You are here, and the man in front of you lowers his hands after such a dramatic gesture. What do you do?
I motion at his hand, at his glove, and I ask him, "So is that what Huel is after? You?"
Out of character, how are you aware of this?
Because that's a demonic symbol, and he was stealing fingers from Sarah.
Are you sure you're not metagaming, Spencer?
I mean, he did. I wouldn't consider it metagaming.
Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Yeah, you're able to assume that. It's a good assumption on your part. He looks at it and says, Mr. Hewlin von Gemsbach is in an unfortunate position. You are aware he's hunting an organization.
I'm not aware that he's hunting an organization, but I know he's, for some reason, taking devil's fingers and having an interest in the unorthodox.
Mr. Gemsbach is being used as a tool for higher powers. While he is a good man himself, he will unknowingly bring the end of all things. It's my job to ensure that doesn't happen.
So are you trying to say he's a pawn to you?
Not to me, to our opponent. Come now. We have some people to kill.
I hold up the paper again, and I see that that Norsefeld's person on there. I hold it up and I say, "What is his name?"
The enforcer's name?
Yes.
Vanolt. Vanolt Rictus. Vanolt von Rictus. The figure walks over to the wall, places his hand on it, and his the pentagram on his glove begins to glow, and then the wall illuminates, and you realize someone has etched a devil glyph on the wall. It flashes to life and begins a searing red light begins to come off of it and says, "Follow me." Or no, he says, "After you," gesturing at it.
Can I see through it?
Mm-mm.
I take a look at him, and then I nod and step forward and into it.
Cool. You walk through, and he follows you. You come out on the other end to a broad, expanding office building. There are cubicles and cubicles. It's like, imagine a mix between a Catholic church or an Orthodox church, with the domed archways and the stained glass. But instead of a center of worship, it's a business, and there are cubicles. And people are sitting in desks writing things down.
Okay.
You see well over 150 people in this room.
Ooh, that's a lot of people.
He walks forward and walks past you, his mask sitting on his face. And as you walk out of the room and come into another section, like he opens these big double doors, and you see like these little archways with glyphs set on them, and you see different people approaching the glyphs. They like check their gloves, ready it, and then activate the glyph and go through it.
How is that possible? And I nod at one of the people that just walked through.
How's what possible?
How do you put these glyphs, these things?
It requires... It's magic, my friend. He sounds like he starts to go into an explanation and then stops himself and is like, it's magic, my friend.
Magic. Not, but you aren't blood. You aren't vampires.
No, we are not.
You mean magic? Magic.
I do.
The arcane.
Indeed, I do.
Tell me more about Millennium.
Follow me to my office.
And I follow him.
He goes through a room, and there are people chanting in there. They're wearing these red robes with like multiple layers going down. It's like this. They've got a red hood that comes down and is like bunched up around the neck, and then like the fabric was too long, and so it's just resting over their shoulders. What's set on them is this long robe, just a long straight red robe. Tied around their waist is like a half skirt that only comes like partially to the front, and like leaves the front portion of their just plain red robe open. And then sitting on their and coming from their shoulders is like this split long, like it's their collar, like a shirt's collar, except it's really, really big, so much so that it like comes down halfway to their chest when like these little points, and rests down their back again with another point, and then combine that with the little extra fabric from their top hood, and you can't see their faces, and they're all standing there chanting. He walks, and you'd have to walk down a row with these candles burning on the sides. And you see, what languages do you speak?
I can speak Draconic, Elvish, Infernal, Verdelphi.
Infernal, yeah. There's infernal writing on everything. He enters a big room, opens it up, and he like looks. You hear like moaning from inside, or moaning's not the right word. Groaning. Yeah. Either word works. It's an unpleasant noise coming from inside. He stops and goes, "Whoops!" Closes the door. Jiggles the handle a little bit. Locks the door, unlocks it, and then reopens the door. And he walks inside to a small office.
What was that about?
Planes are weird. He walks over to a small little desk. If contrasting everything else like that you've been around. His office is this very sleek neon area, very, very futuristic, Tron-esque. LEDs lighting the wall. Like I say LEDs, it's just strips of light. But the walls are solid black. The light is very dim. His desk is made of glass that's like just slightly glowing, and instead of being like a thick wooden desk, it's more like a table with thin chrome legs leading up to the glass holding it up. On it is a computer. His desk, he touches it, and like there is a small little computer display that he's got. And he sits down. It's clearly powered by electricity. And he then says, "Sorry, let me open the windows."
In Lavosa, do we have the windows? or is this a completely strange and foreign thought?
The back wall begins to shift and becomes slightly transparent, and you see you are in downtown Seal, in a high skyscraper looking out across the city.
So, Devin turns around and he looks at this man. I assume it's a man. It sounds masculine. Mm-hmm. What may I call you? Or what do I call you?
You may call me Lee.
Just Lee?
Indeed. Or Hay, either one.
Very well. So, Lee, what is your business? What is your position in this group, in this organization?
I'm an agent. My particular area of expertise is managing and deploying other agents. I also oversee some recruitment and execute some missions myself.
And what makes you so interested in me? Why do I catch your attention?
Mr. Davenid, you spotted an infernal descendant that had been hiding in plain sight in less than 30 seconds. That kind of talent is invaluable for our agency. What we need from you You are disillusioned with this society just as much as we are. It is broken and cruel, and it has taken that which you love. I am under no illusions as to what kind of man you are, Mr. Arnok. I do not believe you're a kind man. I believe the poor Officer Hemet would recount that he did not, shall we say, feel comfortable while he was under the care of your underling.
Hamid.
You don't.
Hamid. Yeah. You reap the benefits of your reward. That was his reward.
Regardless, my point is, I know what kind of person you are. So I also know about the experiments your predecessor did with holy objects.
Yes.
I believe he messes with his screen a little bit and turns it, and it's like terminals in Lavasa are these big, bulky things, right? Like, they've got thick screens, so think, Fallout 4, that kind of thing. His screen is this very slender, just a piece of glass with some chrome around it and a chrome backing. It's almost like a mirror. He turns it towards you and it flashes to life, and it's a recording of you messing with the crucible. And he says, I believe this is you. Is it not?
Yes, indeed.
He turns it off and flips it back around. Now, despite all of that, you have come to care about something that has been taken away from you. So this society has harmed you, and I can see the hatred for it in your eyes.
This society has harmed more than just me. I'm just
Quite
someone
so.
who finally took some notice to it and made some
Indeed.
action.
Very rarely do any of us ever take action against an institution, an evil institution, unless it directly affects us. However, I am not concerned with good and evil. I am concerned with matters of law and order. And this society does not operate on those ideals. So, foremost amongst those offenders is Ackerman.
A dark appearance, a dark shadow surrounds his eyes, and his eyes just appear all the more dark, red, and annoyed. Annoyance, irritation, and frankly, hatred appears on his face, although it's only swirling within his eyes.
He, we need you to prove to the world what kind of man Mr. Ackerman is. We need you to destroy him. Not kill him. As such, our goals are aligned. Because the simplest solution to destroy a man's reputation is to reveal the girl he has strung up in his basement. You get Sarah back, and we get our destroyed reputation.
It's easier said than done. Although, now that you told me where she is, all the more possible.
Indeed. I will give you what resources I can, including access to my agents, and perhaps access to our travel network. I simply need you to get Sarah out of his hands and destroy his reputation by revealing what he has done.
Let's say after I do indeed, and if I do succeed in rescuing Sarah, who should I go to prove that she came from his basement? Who should I go to present this information to?
Whoever you feel like. I am not the one that is doing this. You are a live member of this society. I am a human. Which means that I virtually have no power in it. By the laws of the land.
Which we have already said are faulty.
Indeed.
And have no power over you.
But the society nonetheless exists. It perpetuates its own blackened laws. And we shall damn them for it.
So does that mean I get one of those gloves?
Oh, no.
How did you know that I knew there was a descendant of an infernal creature?
Because we knew he was there. And shortly after that, shortly after his encounter with you, he reached out to his parentage.
And they have something to do with you.
Nothing that concerns you. Suffice it to say that I am very well informed. Much like Mr. Gemsbach, I am an officer of the law. And you have been deputized.
So, what do you want me to do now? Anything specific besides the absolute specific? Besides the in-game, what do you wish?
I'm sorry?
What do you wish me to do now? I know you wish me to somehow confront Ackerman and bring his shadows, his evils to light. But anything before? Anything else?
There is one thing that I need you to do, actually.
And that is...
survive the assassins. And the glass behind him explodes.
Well, of course.
Roll initiative.
That's great. 15.
You said 15?
Yes. Yes, I did. I'll actually put it in the chat.
I got it. Assassins are going to be the first ones to act. These two people jump in. They're both vampires. Their claws grow to ungodly lengths, and one of them is going to jump over at you and slash for you. It's going to make an attack on you. What's your armor? Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit.
Does a 14 hit?
14 just barely hits, but I will use my reaction of cutting words. I'll say, too slow.
Okay. And you're going. What size is your die?
It wasn't determined. It's either a D4 or D6. Your choice.
Make it a D4.
One. It misses with. My armor class is now a 15, or actually, it -1 to his roll.
This assassin swipes at you, and you just sidestep the first one with your super advanced, like your exoskeleton carries you to the side, and then the second attack he stumbles and misses. The second assassin goes for Lee and misses, and then it's your turn.
All right. With that attack. I will rush up and I will kind of jab my own hand into him as best as I can.
Cool.
That is I get a bonus to that. Does a Sorry, that's not good. Okay, does a 12 hit?
Does a 12 hit?
Okay.
A 12 does not. What?
Okay, before you give the answer, I'll go and use my divination trait to make that a 17 plus
That's a
3.
hit. Yep.
That's a 20. And that would deal, I guess, a D6, a D4 of damage.
D6.
Okay. That's a 6 plus 3. That's 9 damage.
You jab your hand into this guy, and he like staggers backwards a little bit, but doesn't look too phased. Is that all you're gonna do?
Yeah. Unless I can detect thoughts at the bonus section, which I'm pretty sure I can't. That is my turn.
Cool. Lee is going to slowly stand up from his desk and turn around and look at the man that just jumped in the window. And he's going to extend he's going to open his hand, and Spencer, out of his sleeve, a knife pops up and flips it around. And then he's going to throw it, and there's a cable attached to it. It stabs into the neck of the guy. Yeah, it stabs into the neck of the... Holy crap. It stabs into the neck of the guy, and like he like looks like he's struggling to breathe, and then his body like seizes up, and he falls over backwards like he's having a seizure. Then Lee whips his knife out of it, pulls it back to him, turns to look at the guy next to him, and swings. And the guy you're fighting, after being stabbed by you, turns and like deflects the blade a little bit. Jeez, that was a lot of damage. And then Lee is going to walk to a side door and open it up where you see some more assassins in there, and he's going to walk out of the room with you and leave you with this assassin.
Oh, okay. My.
That's the assassin's turns again. This assassin is going to make an attack roll on you. 12 misses and a 16 hits. Take 9 slashing damage as his claws rake across you.
Ouch.
Yep.
Alright. My turn?
Yep.
Alright. With that, I'll do the exact same. Actually, I'll punch him with my arm around his neck and then kind of twist it. Yeah.
So you're just, okay, make an attack roll.
Yeah, I'll kind of jab at his face at his throat with my hand. Yeah. That is not the best roll. That's
Okay.
a 7.
It's a miss. You swing at the guy and he just blocks your hand and he's going to come in for an attack roll on you. And misses. And he swings in and gets caught on your armor, on the exoskeleton, his blades get caught there. And then he's going to make a second attack on you. And a 14 hits.
It does.
Take 4 damage.
Oof. Ouch.
That's his turn. It's your turn.
Alright. So I gain 2 life. I've been around vampires before when they use their abilities, right? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of blood right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I reach my hand toward that blood and kind of summon it into a weapon? But it's right behind the guy, so pull it toward me right through him.
Forming a stake through his heart? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Can I try and do that?
Yeah! Give me an attack roll, and I'm going to give you a D10 DM inspiration.
Attack roll. Alright. D10 inspiration?
Yep.
That's an 18.
Okay. On an 18...
That's a 21.
21. You extend your hand toward this guy, y'all are right there, and he's grabs you and tries to dig in, and then tries to stab you and fails, and then tries to dig into you with his hand. And your hand's just kind of down here, and you go to grab his hand, and you stop, and you just open your palm, and the blood behind him forms into a spike and stabs through his chest. And he gasps as his heart is pierced by a stake, and his healing stops. Roll damage.
What do I roll?
Roll a D10 damage. D10 plus intelligence.
9 plus 4, that's 13.
13 exactly kills him. He gasps for a little breath and grabs your hand and then falls over.
I look at my hand and the stake that just came through came from behind him. And I actually want to reach down, pick him up, and drink what blood I can from him.
Okay, cool.
Because
yeah, you drain him. At that point, the door opens, and Lee walks back in, and you see there are multiple corpses in the room that he comes out of. Closes it behind him and says, this office building was compromised anyways. He lays his hand on the. He says, "Let's leave."
Right. I'm still kind of shocked about what I just did, but hey, it's possible now.
Mm-hmm.
How is it compromised?
He opens the door and says, "They knew where this building was." And he touches the wall, and like when he touches the wall beside him, the lights begin to flicker, and then they kind of like fry and go out. And then he moves his hand, and you see like a little spark go from his hand. Hey, what's your passive perception? Just out of curiosity.
My passive perception. Oh. Is it just pure vampires that have advantage on perception checks?
No, half vampires get it as well, yes.
Okay, then that is a 19.
Oh yeah. As you are walking back, he walks back into the room, and as he begins to close the door, the rain sound begins to quiet from Lavasa. And you just hear the chanting again. The candles are burning, and it's a very strong, smell in the air. A little like carbony, sulfury, a very sulfury smell. And as he walks you back to one of the other rooms, reaches the door and hands you a small little bag and says, "That will be what you need to manage. Have a good day." He touches the wall with his gloved hand, and the glyph activates. And you walk through back into the place. A good way to describe the smell would be like the smell of brimstone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. And the music of these people drifts away behind you, going silent. And you're left once again with the rain, sitting in Diedrich's old manor house.
I wanna open up this small bag, and what do I find inside of it?
A devil's finger. It's a bag of holding, actually. You open it up, and it's massive. Like, there's just this huge space inside of it.
Oh my!
And there's a devil, and they're like, it's like an inventory with like. You open it up and you look inside. You look into the bag, and it is like there's a measuring, like, the Lavasan standard measurement of like a foot or whatever. There are like big squares, like there's a grid in this thing with squares that are standardized to a measurement system, and then smaller ones filling them in that are a little harder to see. And then items are laid out in there, sectioned off, in these little squares. Some of them stretching through multiple squares, but none of them ever like going into the square spaces of another item, And there's a couple of things, like a little devil's finger, some odds and ends, like a component pouch. You're not sure. It's like a pouch full of like small little like feathers and twine and whatnot. You're not sure what it is. And there's a radio and a small little cracked crucible. And a small note attached to it. Do you grab the note?
I do.
You pull the note out, and it reads, "Consider this a token of good faith. Don't disappoint us."
I put that back in the crucible box container. And then I put that bag of holding away. That's okay.
as you put it away, you look up and turn around from the wealthy section that you're standing in, and you look back toward the towering seal skyline before you. What goes through your mind, Davenid, as you're looking out over this city?
This world will be turned upside down. It will be burned. What prophetic
With
words.
As you stand in a burned section of town looking at the rest of it, you can't help but imagine what the rest of it would look like if it were burned too. And I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight.